guys, it's Michelle here with Conceive Easy, and today I wanted to share with you guys my labor and delivery story with my first pregnancy. I'm pregnant again right now. I'm 26 weeks along, so I don't have a labor and delivery story yet, but I wanted to share with you my story of my first son, Will, and what happened the day I gave birth to him. So I was due November 8th, 2010, but on October 23rd, this is like exactly 2 weeks before my due date, I woke up and I lost my mucus plug, and I thought, this is interesting, you know, like, is this a sign? I don't know. So I called my brother, who was in med school at the time, and I asked him, does this mean that I'm going to go into labor soon? And he said, you know, it could, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen today or anything like that. So it's definitely the next step. So that night, my husband, my cute husband, and my brother-in-law planned a wonderful date for my sister and I. And we went to a concert and to dinner. And when we went to dinner, I ordered a huge, I'm talking like this big, spicy burrito because I just wanted this baby out of me. So I ate the whole thing and it was really spicy. And we went to the concert, and the entire concert I had to keep on getting up and excusing myself and going to the bathroom. So that was kind of embarrassing. Anyway, my husband and I got home about 1:30 that night, and as I was laying there in bed, I thought, what does it even mean to have your water break? Because none of my friends had their water break naturally. They had all been induced or that sort of thing, so I'd never heard. So I was just laying there on my bed looking at my iPhone and Googling, how do you know when your water breaks? And I remember the key thing that I heard, or that I read, was you will hear a popping sound and then the water will come gushing out. And I thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. So I fell asleep at about 1:30. And literally 10 minutes later, I woke up to a popping sound and water gushing out of me, and my water broke. So I stood up and I woke my husband up and I said, I just had my water break, you know, and there's all this water gushing down. And so we called the doctor right away, the hospital, and they said, yep, that's a sign, you need to come in here, so just shower and bring your things and then come on in. So we got to the hospital and I was already dilated to 3.5, and they said, yep, your water definitely broke. That's your ticket to staying here. You will have your baby boy today. And I was so excited because it was 2 weeks exactly before my due date, so I was 38 weeks. At about 4:30, so I had been there for a couple hours, my contractions were really bad. And I hadn't even felt any contractions until after I'd been in the hospital for at least an hour. So I was feeling fine and dandy. I thought, this is easy. This labor stuff is easy. Until I had my contractions. And I let those go for a couple hours to see kind of how much I could tolerate, but at 4:30 I got my epidural. And can I just tell you, after I got my epidural, I was the happiest woman in the world. I was so tired because I had almost been awake for 24 hours at that point anyway, and I was just lying there in the hospital bed, and my husband was just hanging out with me and just kind of waiting. And by 7:30, so about 3 hours after I got my epidural, the nurse came to check, and sure enough, I was dilated already to a 10. So she said, you know, we'll start pushing a little bit and then we'll have to wait for the doctor to come. So I pushed a couple times, but the doctor said he couldn't make it because he had a meeting or something he had to be to. And since it wasn't like this huge emergency of the baby coming out, then he said he'd be there soon. So by 9, he still hadn't shown up. So I've been waiting for like an hour or so. And they said, oh, he'll be here a little bit later because one of his patients had a baby like falling out of her. So just be patient, be patient. And I was so exhausted. If you look at pictures of me from that day, my eyes are just like swollen because I'm just, I remember just laying there thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. Can I just push this baby out? And so finally at about 10:15, so I've been waiting for like 3 hours to push, the doctor came and I pushed for 10 minutes. It was pretty fast. And sure enough, my baby boy Will was born and everything was perfectly fine. And I remember after the doctor took the baby out, they were cleaning me up and he pushed on my stomach and all of this fluid came out of me. It's kind of disgusting, isn't it? It's kind of gross. But I just remember at that point, like, I could breathe. Like, I just had retained so much fluid in my pregnancy. I don't know how or why, but I could finally breathe after that moment. But it was amazing. If any of you have given birth, you know how amazing labor is and just the whole process. And I attribute a lot of that to me having the epidural because I wasn't in any pain at that point and I could just enjoy pushing, and you know, I wasn't in a ton of pain or anything like that. But it was incredible to see my son, obviously, for the first time. And just talking about this makes me excited for my next baby because I love being in labor. And after I popped out my son, I looked at my husband and I said, I could totally do this again. Like this isn't half as bad as people make it sound, you know, because people always try to share like scary horror labor stories, but it was so great and I loved every moment of it. So that is my labor and delivery story. So I tried to do it as fast as I could so it wasn't this really long story. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, that is it. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you later. Bye.